Hi, welcome to another edition of Why Did Ask For. As always, I'm your host Dan. With me is Pat
Ho
and
ho!
Tip.
We had to start over because something so amazing happened that we'll never talk about.
Tip's an asshole. Didn't turn the volume off on his phone.
No, Dan, that's harsh language that we're using to Tip today. We have to use very gentle
Also-
language for those of
I
us that
forgot.
need a little bit of encouragement this week.
Today's episode of the podcast will be recorded in the style of NPR radio.
Yes, that's right, Dan.
And we have thrilling stories of overachieving and
like-
battles.
That sounds really exciting. I hope you tell us more about that. I'm
I, li-
so enthusiastic.
I like how I have to lean into my mic because it's on a mic stand.
Because it's the only professional microphone.
Tip's got a headset on and he's still leaning forward.
I've had some libations tonight.
They're libations, but yeah.
Some of those too.
His mispronunciation could be evidence of the fact, right? So,
Pronunciation. We're off to
Yes.
a rocketing start this week.
I am sporting this week a beautiful beer called Spaten Oktoberfest, which is seasonal where I live
Mm.
and is delicious.
Speaking of beer,
Oktoberfest is seasonal everywhere because Oktoberfest is a festival for a season, so they only make the beer for that.
sure.
Well, you have to nitpick.
So speaking of beer, do either of you know what beer salt is?
Yes. Pat
Oh,
is
boy.
very familiar with it at gas stations. It comes in a little beer-shaped bottle. It's plastic. And you take it and you put it in your beer.
Yeah.
I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
Is it from San Antonio?
Maybe? Let me double check.
Because I interviewed with them.
Now, this is a very exciting moment here. We're going to research what beer salt is. For those of you that don't know, beer salt can be shook into your beer. And apparently, Oktoberfest is not seasonal. Yeah, I mean, it's seasonal around the world. I'm going to stop talking.
Okay, I guess you can't
Look, it's
really tell how big that is, but I mean, that looks like
That's what she said.
a decent-sized bottle.
No, it's a little plastic one. And they hang them on these cardboard cutouts, and you're like, oh, I need some salt to go with my beer.
Really?
Let me tell you, they are associated with beer, though, so that's not
Yeah.
a bad
Is
thing.
this the same thing, though? Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So, my question then would be, why the hell did they follow me?
Ooh.
Um,
Well, Dan, maybe they appreciate your positive attitude and your outlook on life. Or they think
they
that we talk
read any
about
of
beer
my
way
tweets?
too much, and then they're like, hey, let's follow these people that talk about beer way too much. In a good way.
Look at that. If you click on the website that's in their bio, beer salt
Uh-huh.
is a delicious citrus-flavored salt inspired by the Latino tradition of adding citrus and salt to beer.
yep.
Well, there
Dan,
you
did
go.
you say Latino? The Latinos are a rich culture which embrace many. Never mind. I am partly that, so I can't be made fun of.
You
But that's
are
crazy. What would,
More than
I
I
am.
thought you were.
although I think
I saw
when
a
I think
picture of your parents on Facebook, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Like, no, not in an offensive
No,
way. I just assumed like you look like a white dude, but your parents do not look white.
my grandmother on my mother's side is from Spain, and my dad is his father was from like a Montana hillbilly. That his grandfather came from Ireland, and somehow wound up through me. So my grandfather on my dad's side was actually extremely white, but my grandmother was extremely Mexican.
It's
No,
weird
So-
because the picture that I saw, your parents both look like they could have been born in Mexico.
It's possible, but no, that's not the case. I'll have to show you more pictures. That was today.
That's a
Not that it's a bad thing. Based
No, it was just like I was just surprised because I guess I just assumed your parents were
yeah.
white folk, and they didn't look to be white folk.
Is that why you told us you hated us this morning?
Yes,
Okay. It's all your fat
it's all
pal.
because of Pat.
It's always my fault.
I,
I can never get this.
I threw that in there. Totally forgot I put that in there and closed WeChat. Never went back. Open it up. I don't know, just before dinner or something. It was like 82 messages. What did I miss?
Just learn to ignore the hate at this point. It's
Yeah.
like, why would they do this to me?
Well, you know. So,
So
anything
I
other
finally got a
interesting?
new. Oh, I finally got a new webcam after Tip berated me from my old makeshift webcam
Yes,
for so long.
he can take instructions. He can
Yep.
be taught.
Yeah.
No, it's called peer pressure.
Well,
It's called peer pressure.
Speaking of peer pressure, this is actually a good segue because speaking of peer pressure, I was pressured in by my peers at work to run something called a Savage Race.
Oh yes, I've been waiting to hear about this.
So it's a 5.8 mile obstacle course race through a field, and there's mud and everything. They're the popular thing now. People do these and they enjoy them. And everyone at work's like, yeah, you gotta do it, and we're gonna beat each other. We got all these bets going on, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, yeah. Paid my entry fee, and then okay, now we gotta train. This was back in February, where they said we gotta train.
Real quick,
Yep.
for our non-American listeners, 5.8 miles is roughly 9.3 kilometers.
So they're all training and everything, and they're asking me if I'm training. I was like, yeah, I'm training. Didn't once.
This is not training.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And so we get to the race, and everyone's getting it. I mean, they did a really good thing, like building up, like you're just gonna run and die. And I wore a Batman shirt because I thought, well, this will probably help me somehow. I'll just look at it and get inspired and be like Batman and do the obstacles. So you go, and I was doing pretty well. Go through the first obstacle and everything, and the people I work with kind of left me behind because they just up and over and went. And right after the first obstacle, there's this hill. And it's all slippery because we were like the third wave of people, so it's all muddy and slick and goes down in this wooded area. And so I'm running and I'm being careful because I don't want to fall and hurt myself. And then I hear this girl go, "Ah!" And I turn around, and this woman that should not have been running the race, she was like just too big.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
It slipped and started rolling down the
Who was very angry looking.
Well, she slipped and started rolling down this hill. So my thing is, I can't jump out of the way, so I just start running. It's like Indiana Jones Temple of Doom shit. I'm like, oh no! And she like rolls into my legs, and I fall down, and I'm like, fuck. And I stand up, and oh, my ankle hurts. So that's not even a mile in, and my ankle's been rolled, and so I'm hobbling through the race, just swear words coming out of my mouth, get to the second obstacle, make it over the wall. Everyone's waiting for me. They asked me what happened. I told them. They're like, oh, that sucks. So we go around, get to the third obstacle, which you go through this stream 3 times. You go through once, go around, go through again, go around, go through, I guess 4 times, go through, in and out of the stream. And somehow that girl got in front of me, and she was having trouble getting out of the stream the first time. And I don't feel proud of this, but at the moment, it was all I could think to do.
What did you do?
She's struggling to get out, and she's slipping. And I'm like, not this time. And I grabbed her shoulders, and I pushed her back into the water.
No! What are you doing? No!
And I go through the obstacle really easy. And my boss is there watching me, and she's like, why can't you be mean like that to people at work? It's like, we got a race to win. And go through the next obstacle. You go into this mud. It's like a 50-foot mud pit, pretty much. And you're chest deep in mud. And then you have to go under these 2 wood platforms.
Uh-huh.
So did that, got out, and going through the race. Then we got to this one. You run. It's called the slippery slope or something like that. You run, and it's a wall. It's 16 feet, and it's like this vertical, like almost 90 degrees.
Okay.
And the rope is hanging 4 feet down, so you have to run and jump and grab the rope and pull yourself up. Do that, get down. At this point, I'm feeling not too good, but I look at my shirt. I was like, yeah, Batman. I'm Batman. I just kept saying that to myself as I'm running. I was like, I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
It's a very common motivator. Love it.
And we get to this one called the Polecat.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird because it's basically 2 poles set up perpendicular. They go across, but they're offset. So at one end, it's higher like that. Like this end's higher and this end's lower.
Uh-huh.
And the first time you're going across, your hands are on the higher end, so it's a little easier, and your feet are on the lower end. But then halfway through, it switches. So then your feet are in the air and your hands are there and you're like, oh, and it really burned your shoulders. Get through that, go under the barbed wire, all the easy stuff. Get to this one called the Whirl Wheel, and it's monkey bars, but it's like a steering wheel made out of monkey bars, and they spin as you're going across.
That's like American Ninja stuff, man.
And I sat there before like just going, oh, I can do this, and doing monkey
Like
bars.
Wipeout. Yeah.
I watched how people were doing it, and they would get on and spin their body around so they'd get close to the next one, grab it, and use their momentum.
Question.
Yes.
Do you think monkeys call those human bars?
Excellent question. We call them Harambe bars. God.
Wait, so did you do this obstacle dick out?
No.
Oh, for Harambe?
Well, at one point, my pants were falling,
So close.
and my buddy David was like, "Damn it, Walter, we talked about this. Drawstrings, drawstrings." So while most people were stopping to tie their shoes, I stopped to tie my drawstring in my pants.
It would have been so much better if while he was saying that, you're like, I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
So I go through, and when I saw the obstacles, because I went on the website and I looked at all the obstacles, when I saw them, I was swinging around, and I thought, there's no way I can do that one. And I watched how the guys were doing it, and I made it about halfway, and I got to the middle wheel, and it spun completely around before I could grab the other end, and I stopped. And I was like, well, and I looked, there were 2 ahead of me, and there were like 5 behind me. I was like, well, this is better than I thought, so I just let go and dropped in the water.
So if you let go, do you have to go back and do it again?
No, I wasn't doing competitive. I was
okay.
doing, if you can finish this year, you're awesome. So we get through that, and we go through a couple more. And what many people don't know is I'm deathly afraid of heights. And we get to this one obstacle called Long John's Shiver or something like that. And it's a 16-foot platform, and you jump off of it into 15 feet of water.
Nope.
So
No, you don't. You just look at that and go,
Nope.
nope.
well, I looked at it, and that was my
Around.
that was my initial reaction. It's like, I'm going to go around this one. And then they started with their peer pressure again. Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this.
You got to buy a webcam. Go on.
So I was climbing up the ladder, and it took me like 10 minutes to get up that ladder. It was embarrassing. And I get up there, and I'm holding on, and then there's like, okay, now we got to jump. We're all going to jump at the same time. So they take pictures of you as you jump off of this. And I'm sure our picture is all my coworkers jumping off and me just standing there looking at them. And then this guy that was running behind us, he turned out to be a really cool guy. He just pushed me off of it. So that didn't help my fear of heights at all.
In no one else's world is, hey, this guy pushed me off this 15-foot platform. Good guy.
Yeah. Well,
You're falling down saying, thank you.
Well, no. Later on, it makes more sense. So after that, I get out of that obstacle, swim across, and we're running, and we get to this thing called the Colossus, and it's I think an 18-foot quarter pipe with a rope, and then 8 feet of just slick vertical wall, and you have to climb and get on top of it. And at that point, your arms are shot, your legs are shot. You've already gone 4 miles. And I'm leaving out a lot of obstacles because there were 26 of them, and I'm just saying what I remember.
Right.
So, oh, actually, there's one that was really... This one sucked. Before that, there's one called the Shriveled Richard.
Oh, boy.
And it's a giant, long thing of ice water that you jump into and wade across, and then you have to go underwater, so you're completely submerged in ice water.
Ah.
Nice.
And
They don't care
Of
about
course
anybody
they-
having like these hypothermic shocks or anything
no,
like that?
it's an endurance race.
Dude, we
Okay.
swim
And-
in fucking January up here.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but okay. That's
my ankle was throbbing, and my body was hurt because I'd been rolled over by a boulder earlier and done all these obstacles, and I was in no
fell
way
off
prepared
the
to.
monkey bars.
I was
Harambe
in
bar.
no way prepared to do this obstacle course. Beer and video games doesn't prepare you for obstacle courses.
I disagree, but go on.
So I jump into it, and it was the best feeling thing in the world. Like
awesome.
immediately all the pain was gone and just replaced with cold. It's like, huh, I could probably live in Canada. Then I got out and when we got to the Colossus and I ran up and I grabbed the rope and I climbed up and I got to the platform
Mhm.
and I put my hand on the platform and my feet slipped and I just do this
Oh,
and just slide down and roll down and get up and go to the back of the line and I look at it and it's like, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna try again? And they're just pushing me in. It's like, yeah, I'll try again. I'll try again. And I run and I grab the rope and I make it just as high. And this girl, Kristen, she's like 70 pounds, goes, Walter, you could do it. And like I'm there and I get up to the top and she grabs my hand. And then I start to slip again. And I was like, I'm going to take this little girl with me. She's dead.
just trying to help you.
And next thing I know, the guy that pushed me off the thing, his name was Colin, grabbed my other hand. And the two of them just pulled me up. And I was like laying on the top of that platform. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I made it. I made it. I made it. And it's like, yeah, now you got to climb up that ladder and take the slide down into the water. So I'm already 16 feet in the air. And it's like, let's put you another 8 feet in the air and make you do this like vertical water slide that goes shoots you in the water.
Nice.
Did that.
Water slide.
Then, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like that one. Did that, made it through everything, but like getting out of the water, my ankles hurt, my knees hurt. I was climbing out, and there was no net to help me climb out. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. And we go to the next obstacle, which is this chain link fence suspended over more water. And you have to go across the chain link fence.
That's the worst.
And I got halfway, and my fingers hurt, and I was like, I'm not Batman. I'm not Batman. I just fell into the water. Pull myself out, go attempt the last couple of obstacles. Didn't pass them, but attempted them.
It's good. Hey,
Yeah,
that's
way
handsome.
farther than I would have ever gone in something.
And I crossed the finish line, and they gave me a medal. I'll go grab the medal here. Give me 1 second. Oh, that hurts.
Or just don't.
No, I got to get the medal.
It's a pretty cool medal. I did see it in the pictures, and Tip, I'm sure, has some pictures he would like
Oh,
to share
yeah.
with us after this is over.
So, I got a medal
See? That's a cool medal.
and a shirt.
Cool. You know what would be better?
What?
If you got it for actually doing something rather than just showing up and trying.
This is my participation award.
That is his participation award. Hey, man. there's
You know
nothing
who
wrong-
didn't get this? People that didn't finish.
Oh, that's true. Or didn't even attempt to try.
People that rolled down a hill and took other people's ankles out. That's who didn't get it.
That's right. That's right.
But so you finish, you get that a shirt, and then if you're over 21, your little bib that has your number has a ticket for a free beer. So
Holy
I was expecting one free beer, then David walks up to me and gives me another tab, and I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Well, my boys, they ran the race and they can't drink beer because they're 15 and 16."
Nice.
I was like, "Cool." So David and I were there, and we were double fisting beers the rest of the day, and
That's great. How did you feel after that?
I didn't move on Sunday. let me back up a little bit. I had to drive home, and the drive home was about an hour from where I live.
Okay.
And I got home, and I called my mom, and I was like, "My legs don't work. They're cramped. I can't get out of the car." And she goes, "Oh, well, you need to get in the car and just go sit in a hot bath." No, this is my life now. There are drive-thrus. The next day, I woke up, and I was in bed, and I just wasn't even going to attempt to move. It was just like, there were parts of me that hurt that I didn't even know I had.
That'll happen.
Tip, let me say this. There are a lot of things I'll rat on you for and give you a hard time about.
Yeah.
I am actually very impressed that you did this. That is impressive stuff.
Yes.
I want you to pretend that you're describing the race to me, and I'm going to tell you the exact moment I would have said no. I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so it's an obstacle course.
I'm out. Nope. I absolutely will not do that unless it's some kind of like.
There's free beer at the end.
I would have pretended to go to the obstacle course. Oh, climb. I can't do it. Next one. Oh, swim. Nope.
Well, and one thing I really liked
myself.
about it that I wasn't expecting was everyone. I thought it was going to be really competitive and really like dick moves, and apparently I'm the only one that pulled the dick move.
By shoving the lady back down in the water.
Yeah,
Right.
but everyone else is real supportive, and they help you out, and they're like cheering you on, and like if you can't get up over an obstacle, they push you up over it. And I'm sure for some of the guys, it felt a little uncomfortable when hands were in their nether regions pushing up, because I mean, you got to be gentle.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't a whole lot of gentle going on. But, you know, it was just everyone's together to make sure everyone finishes, except for me.
Now, was the
Like an
race
orgy.
for something, or was it just like for the sake of the race, or were they raising money for something?
People do this shit for fun, I found out.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well,
And-
you're one of
and
those
that-
active types, you know.
Yeah, and that's one of the strangest things is I finished and my whole body hurt, and I said some sort of swear word every other word as I ran the race.
Mm-hmm.
But I finished and I had the beer in my hand and I was drinking it, and I'll send you guys the picture because it's pretty much a promo shot. It was the most blissful picture I've ever taken in my life. It's the most blissful I felt was drinking that beer afterwards.
I have to find this picture.
I'll
so I
send
can
it.
show-
I'll send
Okay.
it.
Didn't you
Well, I'll send it right
already
now.
send it?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure you did.
But
Maybe Dan can edit it in at this point, so our
but
watchers can see it, and incentivize our video watchers to watch the video podcast.
the best part
Don't get
about
too
it,
rowdy there, Pat. I'm not you.
Hey, man, just one picture. You can do it. I know you can.
the best part about it was like I thought I want to do another one.
I am thoroughly impressed. I think a personal goal of mine would be
So there you go. I got the
to be able to
picture pulled
run
up.
that race with you.
Was that
Oh,
not
here
it?
we go.
Yeah, no,
There
that's
you-
not the one I'm thinking of. That's another one I'm thinking of. So
Is
this guy,
Is this the one you're thinking of?
yes, except that's really blurry.
It's because of the focus. It's having to refocus for it. Oh, man.
So here we go. Let's see if I can do it.
There he goes. There's
Look at
that.
how blissful I look there.
You do look very happy to be drinking that.
One of our friends, Brandon, said that, Tip, you look like you're ready to impregnate Britney Spears. Because you got that little like goatee and mustache act.
Or drop my mixtape.
Yo. Man. But no, that's impressive freaking stuff, man.
And at the race, I saw something I'd never seen before.
A woman. I'm just kidding. Go on.
Pat, please.
Hey, I told you I'm going to sign you for this.
Well, it kind of has to do with both. There was this girl there, and she was like half Korean, half Irish.
Man, Chase would be in heaven.
I was in heaven. Like, I forgot what I was doing. I was signing my release form, and I saw her, and like she had the dark hair and the light skin, and then kind of like the Irish freckles, I guess.
The,
you would
the
say.
brows and all that.
Yeah, and it was just like,
She was eating potatoes
yeah, I-
Hey, man.
and kimchi.
yep. I instantly fell in love and never went up and said anything.
You chicken shit.
I didn't even words weren't even coming to my face. I was like,
Tip, you had,
You
the,
like,
perfect
opening,
everything.
dude. Just like, sup? Everything hurts. Want to rub me down?
no, this was before the race.
Okay,
Hey, I'm
sup?
Batman.
Everything is gonna hurt.
Want to rub it out?
Wanna rub me down?
You guys are terrible.
I'll remember for the next one.
I am.
Just be like, look at me, baby. I'm Batman. I got this.
And then we're running together. I'm not Batman. I'm not
Yeah,
Batman.
see?
And then you use her you push her down to get out. The thing.
Out of my way.
No, that's risky though, Pat. If you make a good first impression before the race, and then she sees the display that he just described, no chance.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
She's going
It's
home
true.
alone. So is Tip.
She wasn't going home alone.
No.
But-
No. Probably.
Well, that's
But yeah, that wasn't my proudest moment throwing the girl back into the water.
sounds pretty.
but-
fun,
But it was necessary.
It was revenge.
Revenge. Who was what?
'Cause she
the
fell
plot
down the hill and
thickens.
rolled
Who
over
is
his
this-
ankle. So
Yeah.
he drowned her.
Oh, the Bruce Lee method. I get
Eye
it.
for an eye.
She gives you a bruise, you break her arm. Terrible.
Yeah.
Tip, I can't imagine why. Never mind.
I don't know.
But
Well,
yeah,
that's
no,
still
my week wasn't near
impressive.
that exciting.
That's all I did last week. And
You didn't do anything
No,
crazy or different. No?
no. Worked. That's it.
Worked.
Worked. I'm an exciting
Okay.
guy.
Dan, let me ask you. What's the most athletic thing you've ever done in your life?
Played hockey.
Where you played hockey?
that's pretty athletic.
For
At
years.
what level? Like high school, college? Yeah, I think you already told us this. I'm sorry.
We have leagues.
Right.
I played for my elementary school team,
Nice.
but that didn't mean anything because it wasn't really competitive. But no,
Oh.
I played in just the regular leagues. I made the what we call the traveling team.
Yeah.
So there's house league and then there's traveling teams. Traveling teams can lead to like provincial titles, regional titles, all that sort of stuff. They move up into like the more competitive leagues like AAA, AA, Junior A, Junior B, OHL, NHL eventually. But I just played house league because I didn't want to put the work in to be better than I was.
You? I can't imagine
Right?
that.
It's like,
What
you
is this
should-
about?
You should do off-ice training. What's that? Like working out. That's probably not going to happen.
So I forgot to tell you guys the most impressive part. The part that made me the most proud of everything. Let me pull up my official race time. Because they
2 hours.
yeah, it was. But where is it?
It was 62 hours?
No, 2 hours. It was let's see.
Yeah, no, I didn't. While he's doing that, did you do anything exciting since we last spoke?
Me?
You.
Bought a webcam. How about that? Beat that, everybody. Not only did I get a
Fuck yeah,
webcam,
I bought
but
a webcam,
I got a
motherfucker.
webcam, and as you can see, it's the money I spent on that rather than getting a haircut, which I probably should have gotten a haircut instead,
Why just stop at one? Get them all cut.
right? So, have you ever attempted to try to cut your own hair?
Yes, I do it.
Mhm.
Have you failed at it?
Yes.
Because I came really close at failing at it.
See, because when I cut my hair, I just use the clippers, and I have 2 settings. It's a 1/2 inch on top, 1/4 inch everywhere else.
Okay, that's smart, right?
That's Dan's sex life too.
Oh,
Very
damn.
true.
Well, I started trying to do something here, and I chickened out immediately. After I had set everything up, I was like, you know what? I am not qualified to do this. Never going to try to do it again. I don't know why I tried. It's terrible.
Okay, so they've been updating all the people that have run the race and their race times and everything.
Uh-huh.
And I am the 1,720th fastest person in this race.
Nice.
How,
Out of 1,721.
No, out of
that's what she said.
let's
It
see.
doesn't work in that situation, Pat.
Think about
Well-
it. Think about it. It really does. She's
Uh,
the 1,120th fastest out of 1,121.
No, there's a guy and I laughed at him when I read his time.
Dang it, it's too hard to think about. Never mind.
But there were 4,500 participants.
Damn, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you were more athletic than all of them put together.
Yes, and my time was 2 hours and 40 minutes and 45.1 seconds.
Do you know what the average time was for everybody?
But the fastest time was 1 hour and 10 minutes. The slowest time was 4 hours and 56 minutes. I think the average was right around where I was, like 2:45 or something like that.
Was the last person that one that you shoved back into the pool? Was that what-
No, I don't think she finished.
She never.
Oh.
She's still laying in the pool,
They haven't found
I
the body
know.
yet.
face down in the stream.
So terrible.
But hey man, I'm competitive when I want to be.
It is awful. Hey Pat, there's something that we can kind of talk about, and should we?
Yes, we can. I think I know what you're talking about. If it has to do with an F,
Yes. It's something
Okay.
You and I did.
Oh.
yeah, you can.
Dan and Pat
So-
finally expressed their love for each other.
We did.
We're waiting for now to tell everybody. It's very
Yeah.
true.
We had to tell
I
the
just-
wives first, and
Yeah, I understand.
No,
And I had
so
to save money to go to Canada. Go on.
Ghostbusters is obviously coming to an end at some point soon.
It's never ending.
At some point in the
Go.
near future, and we have already decided the next game to have that let's play aspect of it. And Pat and I have decided that we're going to play through Final Fantasy VII.
That's right.
We recorded our first. What did we record? Like an hour and a half?
We recorded quite a bit there, and I think we're going to break that up into episodes so that it's not too overwhelming. But it went pretty well. It was a good run. We found out that Steam doesn't afford the same luxuries, I guess, as the iOS version of Final Fantasy VII, where it allows you to turn off random battles and max power yourself. All it allows you to do is max out your stats for the current level you're at, and so that's helpful because we doubt, our watchers are going to want to see us, going around trying to level up every.
Oh yeah, no. We're
so.
strictly trying to.
Yeah, this is just
on
for the story.
basically, and we understand that the story is long as dicks, but
Fairly long.
Yeah.
That's
hey,
what
you
she
look
said.
forward
And
to that within the next month or two,
that's right.
depending.
Which
on
means me and Tip gotta finish up this Ghostbusters run, man. Yeah.
yeah.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Yes. It's very. It's. I think it's going to be quite the endeavor, Dan. I hope we're ready for it. I'm even thinking about re-recording that first run because I don't know if you saw the notes of that video for the production.
No.
We'll go over it later. I think you'll understand. As you can see, we're professionals here. We'll only talk
Yeah.
about production things. And
We're
say
kind of
professional.
professional.
We have the
Like
next
production.
the next thing lined up for you, so that's
Yes.
that's something to look forward to. So if you're a big Final Fantasy VII fan, look forward to that.
And it helps us as we're getting closer to the Final Fantasy VII remake coming out
Yeah.
for the PlayStation
Yeah.
4.
I'm not sold on that.
I think that's the only reason I might attempt to get a used PS4 is for that game.
It's not worth it.
And
Because
Yeah.
it's a remake. If it was a remastered, I'd be all over it. But a remake, they're gonna change the battle system to some god awful version of Final Fantasy 13's awful fucking combat system, or they're gonna fuck with it. They're gonna make it worse.
that's the problem with trying to touch anything that is a cherished childhood memory.
That's a sin, Pat.
What? Touching anything that's that cherished childhood memory.
That's a sin.
No, your sin is that you run the risk of alienating all your original fans by making the next version of it crap. So a lot of time. I mean, look how long it took for Final Fantasy VII to even be considered for a remake, and it's not even really a remaster, like Dan said. It's actually a
It's a
like
remake,
they
so
retook the story.
I've heard they're gonna change dialogue and stuff. Like the story
What?
might change a little bit,
Yeah, that's
and they're gonna revamp the combat system, which means they're gonna update it to some newer form of Final Fantasy.
Oh, that
I'd say 13
sucks.
because Final Fantasy 13's combat system was fucking awful. But
Yeah.
they're just gonna fuck with it, and I don't.
Why
Like, you
can't
know,
they just upgrade the graphics?
Well, because then it would be a remaster, which is what they should do.
Why can't they just back off and say, "Hey, we decided to remaster"?
They should.
well. I think a remaster would also upset the hardcore fans because they would still be like, "Don't mess with our original game."
No.
So
A remaster,
I feel like
I think a remaster would be okay because all you're doing is upgrading the graphics. It's the same.
Yeah.
The same everything. Maybe
Mhm.
bug fixes are one thing. Like I don't remember being that many bugs in that game, but who knows? There probably is if you're trying to port it from PS1 to PS4. Also, fucking, if they were gonna do that, make it available on all consoles.
Yeah.
but don't
But,
you kind of
I would be much more accepting of a remaster than I am a remake. Remake, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, but I think the issue is that the original is still selling well. It's not the best, but people on nostalgia alone are still purchasing the original. So if you make a remake, people are probably going to buy the remake as opposed to the original, and there's still a market for the original game. From a business standpoint, I can see why they're doing
No,
it. I just
they will
don't. It's
sell
very
far
likely for
more
them.
copies if they remaster it because those people that already own and still own to this day their original copy on PS1
Mhm.
would gladly pay the money to update the graphics to play the game that they loved exactly the same way in better graphics.
Yes.
I guess that's a good point.
Rather than, oh, Final Fantasy VII, I love that game, let's pop this in. What the fuck did they do?
Yep. And that's my big fear. Like when I went to go see Star Wars Force Awakens, I was really afraid because the first
I mean, we've been over this before because you got
Yeah.
burned by the fucking
prequels.
prequels.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's understandable. You were already burned on that front, whereas
Mhm.
you know they haven't really done it. I think they did remaster Final Fantasy X though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
And
but that was a straight
great game.
Yeah, that was a straight remaster. That wasn't a
And
remake.
that's what they should have done with Final Fantasy VII instead of doing this remake, which I'm gonna hate. Calling it now.
I wouldn't. Don't do it. You don't. You'll be surprised.
now.
You'll never know. You'll never know.
I'm calling
Did you ever watch Advent Children, the movie?
Yes.
I think I started to watch it, and then something happened. It wasn't mine. My friend owned it. Something happened. I
Dan,
never finished.
you have homework. You are to go find Advent Children by any means necessary.
I think it's on Netflix.
Oh, there you go.
Not in America.
I think it's on our Netflix.
And I feel like that's what the game was trying to gear for, was more of an Advent Children style gameplay.
Then call it fucking Advent Children. Don't
Yeah.
call it Final Fantasy VII Remastered or remake. I mean,
I guess it's true.
just make Advent Children.
Did you guys see the PlayStation 4 Pro? What it looks like?
Yes, if you are going to go on and on about this, aren't you?
No.
About what?
Pat is adverse to change unless it's
PS4
the I.
Slim? Is that what it is?
No,
No,
he thinks the
Go
new
on.
PS4 looks like a club sandwich.
It does look like a club sandwich. It's okay. My understanding, if you're going to make the next iteration of a game system in between, you make it slimmer, more clean, more sleek. This thing is like 3 pancakes on top of each other with tomato in the middle. It's not pretty. It's not clean.
But it can run VR.
Oh.
Well, I mean, come on. Is that really that important? Look, I appreciate. No, you're defending the point, and that makes for good conversation, and I like it.
This
But I feel like
No, that's not what Pat
no,
was
no,
looking
no, no.
at.
I'm saying this one looks kind of badass.
Yeah.
is that like a fan render sort of thing?
I have no idea.
That
I'm
would have
assuming
looked.
This is the one you're talking about.
There she is. Look at that
Awful.
stack of pancakes.
Awful.
And for just the purpose of VR, I mean, is it
I'm
really
gonna go
are
enter video game
really?
nerd here for a second. What
Do
were
it.
they thinking?
I'm really surprised that
Sure.
I've never bought a console thinking that's a good looking console.
Really?
Okay. When I got
Yeah.
the PS2 for the first time, I was like, "Damn, that's nice." For the time,
When I buy a console, I look at the graphics and the game. I don't look at what the machine
So
because
then-
I'm not going to be
so then
staring
you
at.
own- So then you own a PlayStation?
I own a PlayStation 1, 2, 3. There's an Xbox 360 there, and that's what I got.
you know what? I will say this though. Xbox 360 has burned me at least twice with 2 red rings of death. So, if the system actually performs for longer than 3-4 years, I'll be impressed.
I haven't had a problem with my one yet.
Well, not all of us can afford one.
I got a
Dan.
launch console.
We're not living in luxury like some people.
I've
Pat,
explained
keep
this before.
talking.
The only reason I bought it was because I got a bonus from my salaried job, and it was
No, I'm actually very jealous of you, Dan. I like.
after buying the
No.
kids an iPad and I bought the wife something I can't remember what it was. I was like, oh look, there's just enough money left over. I can get an Xbox One, and so I did.
I bought
But
the
yeah,
wife
it's
some. Me an
I got a
Xbox.
launch console, and I haven't had too many problems with it.
Well, the new iteration, no, but the 360s, man, those were they were having some problems.
Pat, sit up straight.
I think they still are, to be honest.
Why?
Back up a little bit from the camera, Pat, and sit up straight and talk.
Hello.
A little bit more.
Hello.
Back up, backward. To your right a
What are
little.
you trying to do?
This kind of bothers me that Tip has this much control over me.
Left, I meant left. There,
Yes.
got it.
What? What are you doing?
I'll show you right now.
I'm very scared now.
What did he just do?
I can't see it. I can't see it.
I put Pat's body on the Google lady.
Oh, I see what you did there. This is what our lives have come to now. But look, let me tell you this. I didn't learn my lesson because I thought what you were going to try to say is, Pat, isn't that a 360 over there after you said that you lost 2 of them? And I was going to defend, yes, it is, but that's because that's the only system that I can, You know,
Oh no, I got bored with that conversation. I moved
Like-
on.
Halo 3 on, and then they made the Master Collection. Now I'm sad.
So speaking of consoles and nostalgia and everything, are either of you gonna buy the new NES?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
That's the only thing I'm asking for Christmas.
Yeah, there's not even any question about it.
It's Christmas in 1985 all over the game.
I
Even though
heard
I was
release-
like 3 months old.
You know what I'm asking
Releasing
for Christmas?
NES is like, yes.
An
Put it up with
end
30
to
games, and they're
genocide.
actually really good games.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's a couple shit ones on there, but most of them, like the original Zelda, Link to the Past,
Kid Icarus is
fucking
on there, I
Super Mario
think.
1, 2, and 3. I think Metroid
Link to the
was in
Past
there.
wasn't NES, was it?
Yeah, it was.
What?
Link to the Past.
Yeah, Link to the Past.
Link's Awakening and the original Zelda were on NES. Link to the Past wasn't until SNES.
Let's.
Well, whatever. Zelda 2.
Hey, who are we talking to
The
here
one where
in
you
terms?
fight- the one where you fight
Please.
Shadow Link at the end.
Okay, that's Zelda 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Legend of
Link's
Zelda: A Link to the Past was on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you're right.
Guys,
Did I say Link to the
Awakening. Guys,
Past?
please.
Whatever.
Yeah, by accident. It's okay. No, I was just kind of.
I know what I meant.
Yes.
The
so
shitty
did
one
our-
where you have to go into the towns where people say shit that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But I am
one that
really
says-
looking forward to it.
Me too. Yeah. I haven't run into anybody yet that's like, fuck no, I'm not getting that. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, yes.
You know, it's such a great thing because now it's an opportunity for people like me and Dan to introduce the original gaming to the kiddos
On the original console.
on the
Although
original
it's a
console.
fraction of the size of what the original box was, but still.
And they don't have to go.
That's
I'm sure that was wonderful for our audio listeners. Thank you, Tip. That was
So they probably that probably brought back the nostalgia. They're like, yeah.
they know that sound.
You know, I heard something one time about how like blowing in the cartridge was something that no like Nintendo, Sega, nobody recommended that you do that.
Yeah, no,
But somehow everybody just instinctively knew to do that to fix the problem.
It was a
Well,
big,
you-
like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that as a kid, and I was like, oh shit. And then suddenly my mom was buying a lot more Q-tips.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. You're blowing in it and you're spitting all over it. And then that
Yeah.
dries and that causes problems. I'm like, first of all, that's fucking gross. And second of all, it makes a lot of sense. So I just
Yeah.
started using Q-tips after that. But I would still blow in the console.
You know what I?
And rubbing alcohol.
You know what I did when
Yeah.
they started saying that? I just put it under my shirt.
What?
That
I
makes
put it-
sense.
That's true. My cousin used to do that. Yeah, I'll be damned, Tip.
Let's
Wow.
stop the spit with the shirt, but the air still goes
That
through.
totally makes sense.
We
And
knew about air.
apparently,
yourself.
the new Nintendo console, the NX, is possibly going back to cartridges.
Oh.
How's that going to work?
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
How does that even work though? Because I mean, you can't get as much data on the cartridge nowadays, can
I'm
you?
sure you can.
Patrick, have you seen what they can put on a USB
Dude,
stick?
You can get like a terabyte.
What do you have on your USB stick?
You can get a terabyte SD card.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me they're not gonna be able to fit a full game on a cartridge?
Excellent point. Excellent
They
point.
have the technology now.
Yeah.
They
They
absolutely
can rebuild it, make it better.
I said it before you. Okay, you actually reminded me of something that I saw from Office Depot, and I want to pull that up right now. So you guys talk amongst yourselves because I
Is
think
Office Depot still a place?
it's still a
What
place.
the fuck is
Yeah.
Office Depot? Is that like Staples?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't talk
Okay.
your fancy American talk around me.
Well, we have Staples, and I thought Staples replaced Office Depot.
I assure you, it is not fancy, sir.
Yeah, Office Depot is far from fancy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I remember my mom would always be like, "Oh,
It's
we
like
gotta
when
go to
the Source
Office."
Took over for Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I want to show you something that I thought was kind of cool, but then immediately I was turned off to it. You ready? What?
Don't
okay.
show us a picture of your wife, Pat.
Oh, that's not nice, Tip. That is a 1 terabyte thumb flash drive
Right.
Yeah.
from Office Depot. How much do you think that bad boy costs?
From Office Depot, I'm gonna guess about $250.
Oh, 250?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to wager that maybe that might come around. That's a good estimate, actually. Maybe 150?
5,000.
You think 5,000, Tip?
Yeah.
You're going to go 5? Are you going 5,000 just to...
You can't go 5,000 because you can get a terabyte hard drive for like nothing.
Nope, 5,000. That's what I'm going with.
5,000, right? Ready? Can
Well,
you see that?
we can't read that,
No, it's
and
blurry.
now you've
I'm gonna
gone off
I'm
the
gonna
page.
I'm gonna have to read it to you because here it is. $1,191.99.
If this was Price is Right,
You
I
can get
would
a
have
fucking
won.
terabyte, a 1 terabyte SSD.
Yeah.
That's
for
that's
less
the
than that.
point. That's the point. It's ridiculous. Why would they charge that much for something?
I think back when I was looking for an SSD a couple years ago for my computer, the
Mhm.
4 terabyte was like $750. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's
Maybe it was
it's
the
honestly.
2 that was.
I wanna actually show the price so that way people don't think I'm going crazy. You guys, there it is.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So let's
what-
see what we can do on Amazon.
And it's a Kingston brand.
I don't know, man.
Kingston's so fucking generic.
Now, I
So
can see the advantage of having a terabyte flash drive with you, just like on your keychain.
is
or
that a 3.0 USB flash drive?
Yes, sir.
Kingston has a Data Traveler HyperX Predator 1 terabyte USB 3.0 on Amazon for $648.
And even that seems ridiculous.
It's
Well,
still, yeah.
It is, but it's because that 3.0 USB is the new hot technology.
I don't-
Because they have another one that's a USB 2.0,
Mhm.
$18.99.
I was gonna say yeah.
But I mean, unless you're trying to steal files off of Iron Man's computer, it's no need to have something that large and that costs that much. Like Dan says, for $50,
Ask Edward Snowden.
huh?
Ask Snowden.
I guess that's true. But I mean, like for like $100, I got a 2 terabyte external hard drive.
Yeah, no,
I'm good. I don't need the little fancy Kingston thing.
now I am looking at this one that's really cool.
Now, if they start sponsoring us, I could totally use one.
It's it's $25 and it's a 1 terabyte hard drive, but it's both the USB Mini, this small one,
Mhm.
and a regular size USB. I thought that was pretty cool. So you could plug it like into your phone.
It is, but why would you need that?
Because maybe you really want to smuggle some information out of your workplace, and they'll take your USB thing, your little stick, but you've already transferred it to your phone because you have that mini one.
Or maybe you need it to like have your entire movie collection on like a laptop when you're on an airplane trip, because it's easier for you to
Laptop
listen.
Would have regular USB ports.
I guess that's true.
But when you're not on the airplane and you're on the bus, you can watch it on your phone too.
But it's going to be harder. I mean, do you watch movies on your phone?
Yeah.
You watch movies on your phone a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I watch them when I drive.
No?
I
I'm
I put them
wait.
where the speed goes.
that just reminded me of something. So, I've said this before. I didn't watch the Star Wars movies up until my buddies at work pressured me to, like a few years ago.
Mhm.
Is this podcast gonna be named Peer Pressure?
Yes. I remember I had, what was it, an iPod. It wasn't the regular one, but it wasn't like the little Nano. Oh wait,
Shuffle.
no, the Shuffle was a small one, so I had a Nano. It was like
No, the Nano was a small one. Oh no, you're
No, it
right.
was a
You're right.
Shuffle. So the Nano was like that big, right?
Yeah.
So the screen on it was like that big. I
Yeah.
remember putting, was it Revenge of the Sith? Or A New Hope? It might have been A New Hope. I remember putting that on my iPod for some reason and trying to watch that at work. Sideways on
Wow.
that tiny little screen.
Wow. That's dedication.
That was the first time I tried to watch that movie. It was on that tiny little screen.
And for some reason, you were talking about your iPod Nano, and it reminded me of the first time I'd ever seen an MP3 player. I must have been a sophomore in high school, because Patrick Rowland still lived there. And our
Close
buddy,
friend of ours.
yeah, our buddy had one, and Patrick, I just remember, was turned around while we were in
Not me.
class, and he was hitting my buddy's desk, going, "Did it skip now? Did it skip now?" Kept doing it, and
We're so used to CD players that we couldn't believe there was something that didn't skip.
yeah, it was right when they first came out, and finally,
nobody in my class ever had one. I didn't see them until I graduated.
yeah,
The closest
and
we got was we were able to burn MP3 CDs,
yeah,
which allowed us to put more than 13 to 15 songs on. We could put like
Yeah.
100 on it.
yep,
We had to have a special Discman that could read MP3 CDs.
yep.
You know what the
To
greatest
all
thing
our
about the
younger
iPod was, though?
listeners-
Oh, sorry, go on.
To our younger listeners, a Discman, you put the CD in, and it plays the music.
It's like a record player, but smaller.
Google it.
Yeah.
You know what the greatest thing about the iPod was? The greatest thing about it? It had a earphone jack in it.
So, Patrick, the iPhone 7 you pointed out
Mm-hmm.
got rid of. Well, everyone knows it got rid of the jack.
Jack. Yep.
But you pointed out it has a deal with Nintendo now.
It does.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
I figured out why.
Go on.
Well, because they stole the patent off the original Nintendo DS, or I guess it was a Game Boy Advance. That didn't have a headphone jack either, and you had to buy an adapter that looks identical to the Apple one.
Oh my gosh.
That adapter is fucking hideous.
Yeah.
It looks
The
awful.
one that comes with. But I mean, I agree with. So I for the first time in a long time, I actually watched the live stream of the Rooster Teeth podcast this week, and they were talking about that. I agree with Gus on this. Have you watched it yet, Pat?
I haven't. I'm going to, but for the sake of this, you may quote it.
Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
No, but everybody was bitching that these AirPods or whatever they're calling the new, whatever. Gus already uses Bluetooth headphones, so it doesn't affect him at all.
Well, yeah.
And if
like-
it doesn't affect Gus, then
I'm
no
like-
one else should be complaining, right?
But his side of the argument like totally made sense. I'm like, well, you don't have to use the AirPods or whatever that come with it. Just get a comfortable set of Bluetooth headphones.
Well, here's the thing that kind of gets me, and I'm not an Apple fanboy at all. I hate Apple,
Yeah, me
but
either. Samsung.
they released.
That's on fire.
This isn't the one that explodes though.
Yeah, Pat, and they've fixed that problem. They've recalled them all and released them.
This isn't the one that explodes.
No, I'm like 2 gens behind the one that explodes. So I'm
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right.
but
I'm just kidding.
Apple released, I think in 2009, some Bluetooth earbuds
Yeah.
that look exactly the same as these AirPods that they have now.
They probably are the same.
They probably are, and what Apple has a habit of doing is releasing stuff that's an epic failure, and then kind of like forcing you to adapt to it.
This is the post Steve Jobs era. So
No,
yeah,
no,
it does sound
Steve
like-
Jobs did it too. Remember, the iMac was the first one to get rid of the floppy drive.
Yep.
They were also the first ones to include the
They were
floppy.
also the first ones to get rid of the serial ports and switch
Yeah.
to strictly USB.
Yeah.
So
That's good though. I mean, at least, but you know what? I'm mad at Apple now because they seem to be making a lot of aesthetic errors.
well, what they do is they force their customers into buying their proprietary shit. So, like Dan and I, we have Android.
Mhm.
We can go and we can buy any charging cable we want and plug it in, and it'll charge our phone.
True.
Pat has an iPhone, and he has to be careful because
So-
if he goes and buys like one of those gas station cords, his phone is liable to tell him, well, this isn't an Apple genuine product. Go buy an Apple genuine product.
Really?
That
I
that
never
is
had
coming.
happen.
I feel like
bought
that's coming.
those
But
for
you know what?
chargers for like my iPad and stuff, and then they work just fine.
But it depends, like the lightning chargers. Do you have
Yeah.
the lightning charger?
Yeah, it was a lightning charger. Yeah.
All I've heard about using cords that are not Apple products is that it messes with your battery and it drains faster, and after a while, your battery doesn't want to charge as.
Well, no.
That's a
Apple
load of
tries
shit.
Apple tries to force people into buying their proprietary stuff that is jacked up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're like,
That's
hey,
why
yeah,
you
you can,
can't easily access the batteries.
yeah.
Damn.
Why
And it's
change
like-
it yourself when you can bring it into Apple and for $100 we'll change that battery for you?
And
Whereas with this, I can buy like 4 batteries for under $50.
yeah. And what
Get the
happens if I
charging station,
what
and
happens
just
if I
have them
need
swap
to
it.
change my battery?
I can just pull the back
Yeah.
off this.
Mm.
Take the
Battery
back
up.
off.
And another, what I also like giving Pat a hard time about is he
Bam.
goes on about all these updates that Apple did.
Uh huh.
Like, oh, my phone is it can be waterproof now, and you can charge it wirelessly, and this and that. Welcome to 2014.
Oh boy.
That's
here
actually
we-
kind of funny, yeah, because the whole waterproof thing was like, or I guess water resistant, because nothing can be
Proof, yeah.
100% waterproof without a specific case for it. But like,
Yeah.
that's why I got this one.
Yeah.
Because it was between this one and I think the Note 6.
Oh wow.
Like,
Okay.
the Note 6 was beautiful. It was a gorgeous
Mhm.
phone, but the guy's like, but this one like is waterproof. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean waterproof? He's like, well, you could like drop it in the water and it's not, as long as you don't leave it to float in there, like you can pick it back up and that's good. And I was like, I got 2 kids. I'm buying that phone.
Look, if you have an iPhone, there's a good chance it's not going to fall in the toilet. Okay,
No,
there's a very good chance it's not going to fall in the toilet.
Pat,
Not true.
people
I've known
break
people that have lost
their
their phones.
yeah.
Yeah, like in the bathtub. Like
Because
In the bathtub.
yeah,
people
like,
are idiots.
so like female coworkers. Yeah, I was in the bath and I'm just checking Facebook or whatever. Drop the
I
fucking
guess
phone.
that's the exception.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's not on purpose. And in your day-to-day life, you're right. You go, that would never happen to me.
But it happens.
But it,
But
it
eyebrows
happens.
Imgur on the toilet. Very real possibility I'm going to drop my phone.
Well, I mean, how are you sitting on the toilet? Are you like,
Well, yeah, I sit on it backwards. I sit on it backwards because I need the tank to hold my arms while
well, now let's. I think it's getting to a good point where we can start wrapping up.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. We don't need
But,
to know how you use the toilet.
Well, I was just going back around to the poop slide.
No, that was last week. We
That was
moved
what
on.
you shoved. That's what you shoved that girl back into was the poop slide, right? The mud.
I can't remember the name of it.
It's
Maybe.
okay.
There was probably poop in there and pee.
Gross.
Exciting.
All right. Well, is there anything else?
Nothing else. I think just look. We're going to be working on some new stuff here at Why Did I Ask For the new videos. Tip's got his Mega Man, Just a Tip coming out, so make sure you go and watch those. Very funny, very exciting. My cousin's extremely jealous that Tip's playing Mega Man, so that's cool.
Yeah, because it only cost me $10. Come on, Timmy.
Oh, Timmy.
But thank you, because Timmy is actually one of our little fans and watches this, so appreciate that, bud. You're awesome.
Yep, my cousin watches us too. By the way, he's gonna give me tips on how to be better.
He's gonna. That's what you need, tips on how to be a better tip.
Yep.
Tip number 1: don't drop your phone into the toilet.
Turn around on the toilet.
Yeah. Tip number 1 is sit properly. Well, anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us this week.
You're welcome.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you'd like. Sometimes we read them. Sometimes we totally forget that that's a possibility, and it just gets overlooked.
And then we get real surprised when we got a comment.
But shit happens. So, check out our Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram. Sometimes we post shit there. Sometimes we don't.
Like an almond joy.
And be sure to check out our store at society6.com/whydidaskfor for all your Why Did Ask For merch. That's society6.com/whydidaskfor.
Oh yeah.
So thank you, Pat. Thank you, Tip.
Yep,
Thanks, Dan. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And hopefully we made you ask, why did ask for?
Why did end? Thank you very much for listening to the Why Did I Ask For podcast. Why did end?
By NPR.